This assignment is for a role play for class and does not simulate a real counseling session. Hi Kirsten, how are you today?
Okay.
Okay. What did you do today?
Got ready for work. Yeah.
Where do you work?
At Ross.
What do you do?
Everything.
Everything?
Everything.
Like what?
On register. I do a lot of sales floor moves. I push product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like working there?
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there a specific thing that brought you in today?
Well, I'm getting mapped this month for work. It's basically what mapping is like a managerial assessment thing. So I have to go through a ring of questions and walkthroughs with managers and basically get torn apart to shreds to make sure I know what I'm talking about before I can move up.
So would you, I know you said that you compared doing the assessment and getting asked those questions as something tearing into you. Does that mean that it's like hard for you to want to answer those questions?
Yeah, I'm going in unprepared.
Unprepared?
Unprepared.
Why do you feel unprepared?
There's a lot of questions that are on the practice sheets, and from what I've heard from other people being mapped, you get asked questions that you don't know the answers to. Mainly because we're not expected to know those things in the positions that we're currently in. So when you get mapped, they ask you questions about reports and why certain reports would show this and what we can do to raise or lower the percentage of this report, but you have no idea what any of those percentages even mean because you've never even seen any of those reports.
So would you say that this assessment has you feeling that you are going into something unprepared and causes like a stressor? Yeah. So what are you currently doing to prepare for it?
There's not really much we can do. The only thing that I've been able to do is just focus on what tools I have right now, which are like my store presentation guides or any, those basically just show me how to move around the store, what products I have to start pushing, what little shops that I have to set up, so like a Christmas shop or whatever. Anything outside of that, and like following my directions from my managers. Other than that, that's really all I can do.
So it sounds like you identified 2 different resources that you currently have to prepare for the assessment, right? And have you been using those resources?
Well, the SPGs can only take you kind of so far. So a lot of it relies on managers. It's just hard when they don't communicate so well with each other, and they don't really communicate with us so well. And so we're constantly having to ask them questions over and over again. So I constantly have to go up to them and be like, okay, what's this? And so sometimes you just feel like they just look at you like, you should know this already, but no one's ever showed you how.
So would you say that the resources and that you've described, that they pretty much, they don't feel like the resources that they are supposed to be?
Yeah.
So you've said that your most current stressor right now is being evaluated for this managerial position. So from that, what would your goal be to, as of right now?
Probably just to make it to that point. I just want to be able to go in even if I don't get the position out of it,
Mm-hmm.
I just want to go in and not feel like I didn't know absolutely anything. I want to at least feel some kind of preparation and not be so nervous or scared to do it.
Okay, so what you're describing is that you're describing something that you don't want to do. So what is something that you want to do?
I want to be able to come out of this having learned something and proving, at least to myself or maybe to my manager, that I'm not always an airhead and I'm kind of understanding and learning different things. I really just don't want to stay stuck in the same spot for another year.
Okay, so now you've described another goal that you have. So that was 2 goals in one. So you have where you want to go into this test and you want to take it and you just want to get through it to prove that you know what you're doing. And then another goal you have is to move yourself up in where you are in your career. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming this test is the first step into achieving that long-term goal. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So with this, the just going in and passing, what do you feel like you need to do in order to do that? Or even a first step from that, going in there and taking a test. What steps do you feel like you need to do to get there?
I feel like I need to have more communication with my main manager and kind of get a better idea of what they're looking for and things that I should know. Just because, like I said, it's, from what I've heard, it's a lot going in and not all of it they know. It's just kind of hard when I guess we work 2 completely different schedules, and there's always so many moving parts within the store, and there's only so much time that we have to get to it. And you know, my manager, he's always running around doing like 1,000 different things. So I feel like when I ask him to like slow down, it's kind of harder for him to do it. Because he has so many different things that he has to pay attention to. Same thing for me. I have like 1,000 other things that I have to get done. So we kind of just miss each other sometimes.
So with this 1,000 other things that you have to do you feel like those have to take a priority over what your goal is currently?
Yeah. It's we have certain deadlines that we have to meet, and I feel like being mapped can always kind of get moved around, you know? Like I don't have like a date or like a deadline set in stone for it. I just know that it's coming up. But you know, certain things have to be done like within the week. Certain things have to be done, you know, by this day or by the next day. So those are kind of like, and it's not just things that I'm responsible for, it's I have other people that I have to help and direct, and we all have to work together as a team to get that project done. So if I'm focusing on something else rather than on the project, it just causes more problems.
So you said that it's called the map can be moved around, and you've said that the other deadlines that you have for the other 1,000 things that you need to do, those all have deadlines. But for yourself, your life goal to eventually move your career up, then does that have a date for you that you'd like to kind of see happen eventually?
And it's not like set in stone. So probably maybe like within a year, because I am trying to go back to school, so I don't see my current job being something that's going to be like a forever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely going to be like a whole different challenge at that point, balancing school and work.
That's definitely something that you'll have to come back to and work through how you're going to manage that goal, because that's definitely a goal to have to think about and know how to manage. But going more so into this immediate goal of wanting to go into this map just with some knowledge, right? And just to go in there to prove to yourself that you are capable of taking this test. So what's a step that we could take, that you could take, say tomorrow, and to getting yourself a step closer to being prepared for the map?
I mean, I do have one of the other managers who might be less busy, so I could probably reach out to her and talk to her about maybe her experience.
Just to give myself some more information on the map, is there like an inventory kind of checklist of different things that you need to know about in order to pass it?
So basically, as far as I know, is you're in an office with, I think, like 2 managers, and they're basically gonna present you a whole bunch of reports and kind of ask you about the reports and what they're saying, and how to like improve our ratings within those reports. And then after that, you have to walk the store and basically point out like wins for the team. So like, okay, like this shop looks great, or you know, this or that is done, and then also point out some weaknesses and things that have to be worked on. And it's not really the walk that's the concerning part, it's the reports and everything, because like I said, you don't really see those reports unless you're already kind of like in management.
So you seem kind of knowledgeable already about what the map is going to assess you on in general. So for this, taking this assessment, what is this going to do to benefit you in your long-term goal of advancing you in your career?
So it'll get me, if all goes well with the map and I get to move up, it'll give me more opportunity. I'll have a new set of responsibilities, but right now I'm carrying a lot of those responsibilities anyways. And it's a lot of extra added stress. So it'll be nice to have those responsibilities actually delegated to me and not really like posed off and pushed onto me. And then that'll hopefully alleviate some of the stress, so I can start focusing on my outside of work goals. Because right now I have to focus on my job responsibilities and my extra job responsibilities as well as my outside responsibilities. So it's like triple times the load right now. So moving up, the managers don't really have to deal as much with like, not the grunt work, but like the heavy lifting, the floor work.
So taking this test and passing it would allow you to eliminate a lot of the stress factors that you're already feeling from not being in a managerial position, whereas you're already like acting like a manager, just
Yeah.
taking that responsibility but not getting the position title or the pay for it.
Yeah.
And so, what are some disadvantages that this, or not so much disadvantages, but things that it won't benefit you as much if you take this test?
Honestly, it's going to be a lot of the backlash from a lot of my coworkers. If I do move up, there's a lot of them that do support it and do support me, and they're like, okay, well, you should already be here, you know, like, you do all this, you do all that. But there's a lot of them that, like, definitely have their choice words. I get it, because I'm younger than a lot of them, but, and at the same time, it's not going to be a position that I'm going to hold forever. It's really just maybe like another year or two that I'd be able to hold on to this position while I'm getting everything else ready outside of work.
So your main worry is how your coworkers are going to react to you taking this assessment and passing.
Yeah, and seeing what my managers are gonna think.
So how do you plan to deal with that?
I mean, there's only so much you can do. You can't really control what other people think or whatever they say. So as long as it's not hindering my performance at work, or it's not really causing such a big deal, I'm just gonna kind of roll the punches and take it as it is. The only thing is gonna be like, if I do move up, I'm gonna have to deal with like, not insubordination, but like definitely a push from them. Which luckily enough, a lot of them are very sweet, very kind, very understanding, and they do it, like, they'll be like, oh, okay, and they just kind of like, if I tell them to do something, they understand that it's just really to help them out or to help all of us out. So as far as whatever everyone else has to say, it's kind of, there's only so much you can do.
So your plan is to rise above the reactions and the backlash that you might get, and hope that they'll find some kind of understanding as to your new position and where they're at.
Yeah, I think no matter what happens, there's always going to be something.
So we've identified some good things that could happen from passing this assessment, as well as some bad things. And so from a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being how confident you are in achieving this next step, and 0 being I cannot do this, I do not want to do this, where would you say you're at?
Probably like a 6.
A 6? That's a good number. It's better than 5.
It's better than 5.
It is better than 5. So what number would you want to be at before you go into this test?
An 8.
An 8? You seem pretty confident.
At least an 8.
Yeah? So what do you think you can do to get yourself to at least an 8?
Probably just get with my other managers. Maybe not my main manager, but definitely some of like the lower management, and see if they have any ideas. Some of them have been lucky enough to skip their map, so they might not be so much help, but
so definitely using your resources
yeah.
to the best advantage you can. Yeah. And is there anything else you can think of to help you? No. Well, that sounds like a good resource to be able to use that to the full extent. If you talking to your resources and asking the other managers that have passed the MAP test, like getting their perspective on it could help as well, right? So, thank you so much for talking to me. And next time we will see where you have made your progress on this and whether or not you've passed this math exam.